shot. I'll get in your face a little bit because we're out here today and we've got 2 units running. We got a 2-inch for sniping, the bedrock, and then we've got a larger 2.5 that we're using to move more of the overburden areas. What we found is there's a creek back through here, and I walked the whole creek and I found one area where the bedrock is actually the bottom of the creek, nowhere else. So common sense. Well, David's got his little 2 over there, and I'm keeping him track. I'm separating the cons out. David's little 2, he pulled almost a gram in about an hour. I mean, it was a gram, beautiful, big old chunk in it, nice gold, tons of gold there after an hour. And the other one, Rick's 2.5, he was moving too much light overburden. So he had barely any gold in it, just a little bit of gold in there. So I moved him up and said, hey, get off that overburden, let's go right to the bedrock and attack that bedrock. And what we're doing is we're not just dredging that bedrock, we're actually cleaning out the crack, going in with the screwdriver, and I got some underwater footage for you. We're just cleaning out that crack and going back. We're not spending a lot of time on it, but we're cleaning it out because I'm sure someone else has been here dredging this too, but they haven't taken the time to go in there and really get it. When you hit that crack in the bedrock, you'll see it turn gray. There's clay stuck in there too. So you're releasing that clay and that gold that's stuck in there. There's one crack. It looked like you could stop. And I kept going. I went 11 inches down in the crack between it. Kept digging it out. Trying to help out. I'm going underwater and doing a little bit of work, a little bit of diving. The problem I've got is it's going to be 80 degrees today. I couldn't wear my warm suit, so I just had to grab like a 2 mil surf suit because I've been boiling if I put on the thermal suit I have. So I got a stupid little surf suit on with some white shirt under it. It's doing pretty good. That water's cold. We're over here running 2 gold hog units on a big piece of bedrock over here. And I'm about to take you underwater. And it's cold. So hold on. Again, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm going to try. That's a big old chunk of bedrock over here. It's slippery. You can probably see that all here. This is all bedrock in here. It's been worked before, but not worked well enough. David's over here using a 2-inch on the gold hog. He's working that bedrock and cracks with a screwdriver. Rick's over here working the deeper ends of the 2.5. And I'm going to start swimming probably back over in here on that bedrock edge over here somewhere. So we're going to be doing this all day, I think. But I'll let you know how it goes. We already did one cleanup, but I didn't test it yet. But that water's cold. Hey guys, I just found a nice little crack in that bedrock. I'm going to see if I can get it on camera. I don't know. Let's see. But don't bust my butt. guys, it's Doc, and we finished up dredging. We dredged for, we got back last night and we dredged for 2 days, but we didn't dredge solid. We only dredged probably for about, I would say 3 or 4 hours one day and maybe 3 hours the next day. We were running a 2-inch gold hog unit and a 2.5-inch, and we were cleaning up old bedrock. I knew that this bedrock had been worked before, but we wanted to go in and really clean it out with some smaller nozzles. Dig in and get some of the cracks. There's a big area up on the creek that we're going to work later. That's probably less worked than this area. But I want to explain what I did was we came home and we stopped several times, did several cleanouts. But we had 4 gallons of concentrates from the cleanups that we did from both machines, put them all together. 4 gallons of cons from those 2 days of dredging. And I came home and set up the gold hog in a concentrator mode. And when I set it up in concentrator mode, if you don't know, I run two 2,000 GPH bilge pumps. So it's 4,000 GPH in it. Plus I add a garden hose on top of that. So I'm running about 4,500 GPH. I like it real fast. And I put a UR mat. Our skimmer tray now becomes the UR mat. And then I go scrubber mat. Then I go UR mat. And then at the bottom I put this large phase vortex blue. And surprisingly, I'm not catching a whole bunch. Most of it's being caught up top. But I figured, hey, you got to expose your mixture to different velocities and different matting surfaces. That's why I like to change it up. So we run it through the gold hog as a concentrator. Ran the 4, and I'm going to show you real quick. And this is true for a lot of commercial operations. Like to use it as a concentrator. But I don't know if you can see it, but that's the amount of cons. I would say it's about 3 or 4 cups of super concentrate. So we took the gold hog unit run as a super concentrator will take you about 4 or 5 gallons down to, it's about 3 cups of material. So most of my gold should be in here. So then I went over the scientific thing of doing a sterilization, where now what we do is we take everything that we ran that's now in here, we take it out, put it in a bucket, we scrub this down, we take the gold cube and we thoroughly clean that out. And I mean thoroughly, the surfaces, the backs, everything. We set the gold cube up, which is, we love the gold cube, and we know it's a 99%, over 99% recovery rate system on it. So I took everything that we ran through the gold hog as a concentrator and we ran it through the gold cube first. I have not done anything else with this. So then I clean out the gold cube, and I've got those. The gold cube took down about the 4 gallons left and took it down to about, I would say 2 cups of material. So I've got 2 cups of material there that I'm just going to pan through easily, and I'm going to see, I should have, again, if the running 4,000 GPH, I should probably have a little bit of gold in here, so I'm going to check and see. And then I'll check and see what we got in the other one, so I'll keep you posted. Alright, the sun finally went away for a minute. So, I've panned down the cons from the gold cube, and I'm actually kind of shocked. Besides, if you have any doubt if the gold cube works or not, the gold cube is probably one of the best products on the market, best super concentrator I use. In all of our tests, which we've run over 50 controlled tests on it, we constantly put it at a 99 point something. So 99.4, 99.9. I'm never going to give anything 100%, but 50 controlled tests. And we've gone down to minus 150. We really don't go below that. A lot of people do. And I'm handing it down carefully. And I'm not finding, unusually, I'm not finding any gold in here. So we ran it through the gold hog as a super concentrator, took every bit of material, ran it again through the gold cube, set up perfectly, and I'm not finding any gold in here. But just so you can see, this is after it's panned down. This is the black mud that you'll have. But I'm not finding any gold in here. 0 gold, not even 100s.
Nothing. I mean, I could probably go through here with a microscope and probably find something, but I just can't find any gold in here whatsoever, and that's good. All right, so now I'm going to pan out what we got out of the gold hog, and we'll see what's in there real quick. Hey guys, okay. So I took about a third of the cons out of, it's about a cup. There's about 3 cups left out of the gold hog after I super concentrated it in. This is just amazing stuff, and I'm going to try and get you to see it. It's always hard to do this, but this is hopefully some of the stuff you can see. And I've got easily minus 100s and 50s sitting right above my finger. There's a bunch of them all in here. Man, that's one thing about Georgia. We do have a bunch of wire gold. We'll pull out a bunch of wire gold. That is the coolest little piece right there. And there's a bunch of there's a really neat piece of, let's see if I can find it. There's a really neat piece of wire gold sitting right there. And there's a one close, there's a 100 right there. There's 50s all around it. And I'm washing a ton of gold out here, but there's a bunch of gold here. There's some big pieces starting to show up right here. And I haven't even got down in here, so I'm going to start to blow through it just to see it. This is the second set of gold, and this is what I wanted to try and get. This is that wire gold that we get here in Georgia a lot, right here. It's amazing. Well, then you could probably also see a lot of the gold up here, all along in here. And I'm starting to, this is the rest of that cons. I just started panning it, so let's see. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of gold. From working that bedrock that's already been worked, I mean, I'm pulling out tons of fine gold. A bunch of that wire gold. And that's a huge piece of wire gold. I don't know if you can see all that. There's a beautiful piece of wire gold sitting right there. Beautiful piece of wire gold. Big chunks up here, little pieces, minus 50s, minus 100s. Whoa, Nelly. That's a pretty piece of gold right there. That's nice. Wow. Look at that piece. And that's a roller too. That's what I call a roller, because it's almost round and it goes through almost every other thing and won't catch that piece. Looks like a little log. You can see that piece of wire gold sitting right there, and right next to it over here is a bunch of 50s. And a bunch of 50s over here, and that big piece of wire gold right back over here. Every swirl I take, I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but right at my finger, all this gold all up in here. That's just really cool. And this is, a lot of this is super, super fine wire gold, which is so hard to catch. Wow. Ooh. Look at that. That's a new piece right there. I don't know if I've ever seen that one. That is pretty. All this fine wire gold, that is so cool. Again, I'm just starting to hit the surface here. So anyways, we had a real good time dredging. It was exhausting, I will say that. Because not only do we have to carry in camera equipment, and we had 2 gold hog units, 2 pumps, all the hoses, everything. We had to pack it in, not too far from the road, but then we had to take it another 50 yards down the stream, and we actually used, we took little body boards, glued, wrapped 2 of them together with tape, and just floated the stuff down the stream. We just walked along with it. So we floated the gold hog units down the stream on those body boards that they sell for surfing.
and it worked really well. And we actually, if we had got, and we actually used it, we had 2 people on it, and we put our pumps on it and held up the pumps. You just got to be careful. But that was really good. And the main thing I want to point out was that, sorry, there's a bunch of sun out here. One of the main things I want to point out is that I worked in an area that was completely exposed bedrock. Some of it only had 6 inches of water, some was down to about 2 feet. A couple spots where I went in underwater, maybe 3 feet or so. But that area for years has been worked by people. They've been in there dredging, and that's important. And what we did is we actually went down with a little bit smaller dredges and went in there, and we could get into the cracks a little bit more, and we worked it out with tools a little bit more. A lot of times people go in there with a 4-inch, 3 or 4 inch dredge, and they can't work those cracks real well. And actually sometimes the 2-inch, I ended up putting the 2-inch right on the shallow where he could go in there and work those cracks and really concentrate that suction. So it was really good. So I'm not going to show you a cleanup, and I'll tell you why. I'm saving my super cons for our new mat that's coming out. We have a low velocity mat coming out called the Finisher. It's made specifically for lower velocity settings like a stream sluice or maybe even a mini high banker where you can't get enough velocity in it. And it's going to be a real neat mat. But my hunch in our initial testing, and I won't know until we get it actually run, is that we'll be able to take a regular high banker and you'll be able to turn your high banker into a finisher. So you would run your concentrates through the gold cube. Well, now you still got 2 cups or 3 cups, whatever you want. And we're hoping and we're thinking if we can get the pitch and flow right on this mat, that you should be able to take your super cons or even your cons that have been screened down and run them across this mat, install it in your high banker, maybe with a garden hose or a bilge pump, and run your cons over this mat, and the finisher mat will pull out and get you down. It'll take, let's say you got 4 cups of super cons or half a gallon, quarter of a gallon of super cons. We're thinking that it'll take that down to about a half a cup of material. That majority of your gold is sitting right there. So stay tuned on that, because we'll be testing that over the next month when that comes out. And that's why I'm gonna save my super concentrates for testing on that mat. So this is material that I've actually dug. There's real fine gold, there's no minus 150s, lots of 100s and tons of 50s in here. But also there's a bunch of weird shaped gold. Georgia has a lot of weird shaped gold. We have wire gold, we have a lot of flat gold. There's 2 big flat pieces in here. And so we're going to test that on the mat, but it's just, I'll let you know how that goes. Anyways, had a great time up there dredging, ready to take a rest for a while, so hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.